Hello, it's Jeff again, and I am sitting here with Tina. Tina, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And we're going to get to know Tina real well. I have some questions to ask her, and if you're ready, we'll get started.
All right.
So Tina, can you tell us your full name and your birthday? Full, including the maiden name.
My name is Tina Otto Naki.
And your birthday?
June 23rd, 1932.
Okay, 1932. All right, so I see my dad's 74, he's going 43.
You don't have to do that.
So, well, it's important because they'll, when they look back, do you remember your mother and father's names and birthdays?
Yes.
Okay, what was your mother's name?
Agnes Otto Hoiberg. February 2nd, 1893.
And that's my mom's birthday, February 2nd, 1893. Wow. And your father's name and birthday?
Jacob Otto, January 13th, 1984.
You mean 1884?
1884.
1884. Yeah. That's fine. You did good because I think I can. Yeah, I can name my parents' birthdays. So, where were you born in?
I was born in Tallinn, Estonia.
Okay, and that's a country that borders what?
It's one of the Baltic countries. It's right across the Gulf from Finland.
Okay, all right. What age were you when you came to the United States?
I was 16.
16. And can you tell us how that came about?
Well, we never wanted to leave Estonia. We had to leave. We had to flee from the Russians.
Really?
I mean, we had everything in Estonia. We never would have left Estonia ever. But we had to flee from the Russians, and we fled to Germany during the Second World War.
Do you remember all that and everything you had to?
Yes.
You were 16.
No. I was 12.
You were 12, but you still remember the panic and the pain and all that?
Oh, yeah.
Are you comfortable talking about it?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So, what led up to the point where you realized your family had to pack up and go?
Well, the Russians occupied in 1940, and then the Germans kicked them out, and then it was German occupation.
Okay.
And which was fine, but then the Russians were coming back again, and we had to get out of there because they arrested everybody and sent them to Siberia and everything else.
Now, how did your family get the news that was happening? Did you and your family witness all that and realize you had to leave?
Yes.
Or you witnessed it?
Oh, sure.
I can't imagine. So where did you go to from there?
From Estonia, we went to Germany.
Germany.
And then we lived in Germany during the war, and 5 years after the war. And then we immigrated to the United States in 1949.
Okay. In 1949. Whose decision was it to come to the United States? And was that in your family, did everybody agree that was where you needed to be? Is that where you wanted to be?
Well, we could have gone to Australia or England and Sweden, South America, but when you're looking for a place to go, you go to the America, United States.
Well, that's good to know. Wow. And your mom and dad were both living at this time?
Yes.
And your dad was pretty much making sure all this could happen?
Yes, and I had a sister and brother. Now, sister and I and parents came to Germany, but my brother had to she fled from Estonia to Finland and fought in the Finnish army.
Really?
Yeah.
She did.
He did.
He did.
Yes, he was 17 when he left.
And fought in the Finland army. Wow. Mm. So were y'all able? Were you all able to reunite at some point?
Oh yes, he was in the United States, but my sister was in Canada.
Okay. And so you get to the United States. It's just you, your mom, and dad, and sister.
Yes,
Okay. And what year was that?
1949,
49. And where did you move to from there?
Cleveland, Ohio.
And how, 49. So how old, you were born in 30 when? When were you born? 32. So 42, 49, so you were 16.
Yeah,
Okay. So what did you think of the United States when you first got here?
it was wonderful.
You liked it? So
As a matter of fact, some things were better then than now.
well, a lot of people say that. So you're 16 and you start school here, I assume?
Yes,
Everything good with the schools? You weren't behind or you weren't? Were you
No.
ahead?
no,
So you were caught
Yeah.
up with the rest of the age
Yeah.
group. So where did you move to when you were 16? Where at? What city and state?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio.
And that's where you graduated high school?
Yes, then I went to Kent State.
Kent State,
Yes,
okay. And what was your major there in Kent State?
accounting.
Accounting. All right. How long were you married at some point during college or after college?
After college.
Where were you at when you got married?
We got married in Cleveland, Ohio.
In Cleveland?
Yeah.
And what was your husband's name and birthday?
Paul Nakey. Gosh. 7th of December,
Oh, okay.
1928.
28. Okay. All right. Brothers and sisters, are they still in the United States or have they?
My brother just passed away last month and living in Akron, Ohio.
Akron, okay.
And my sister is up in Canada still.
Still in Canada.
Yes,
Let's
they're both older.
Okay. So you meet your husband. Where were you at when you met your husband?
At IBM?
IBM. Okay. In Ohio.
Yes,
Okay.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. And what month? Do you remember your anniversary date?
February 2nd, 1957.
Okay. And that was the same day as your dad's birthday? Somebody's
Mother's.
birthday. Mother's birthday.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have children?
two daughters.
2 daughters. Good. And what are their names and birthdays?
Laura Nakey Emery, October 12th, 1961, and Karen Ann Nakey Valentine, October 14th, 1967.
She's just, okay. They're around my age. So do they live here in North Carolina?
Laura lives in Hillsborough,
Okay.
and Karen lives in outside of Philadelphia, Bucks County.
Okay. And you have grandchildren?
Yes, 4.
4. Great. Well, let's see. How did you end up in Raleigh?
Well, we got transferred here and there. When we got married, we moved to Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
And then we got transferred to Maryland, Silver Springs, Maryland. Then we got transferred back to Detroit and Poughkeepsie, New York, and then Raleigh.
In Raleigh.
Been in Raleigh for 40 years.
40?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you worked at IBM Now, did he work at IBM too?
He worked at IBM, I did not.
Oh, you did not, okay. So he worked at IBM here while he was in Raleigh,
Yes,
okay. Do you remember the first president you voted for?
Eisenhower,
Eisenhower. And do you remember when JFK was assassinated?
definitely.
What were you doing at that point?
I was cleaning and waxing the car, and the back bumper never got cleaned because went inside and watched television all weekend.
How did you get the word that while you were cleaning the car that,
My husband called and my mother was there babysitting, and that's how I found out.
wow. Tell me, I know you came in here and you wanted to tell a story. So tell me the story that you wanted to make sure got told so that it doesn't ever get forgotten or misunderstood. Is this how you were, is this about where you came from and what you had to go through to get to Germany? Was that what you wanted to tell?
Well, yes.
Was life good before the occupation, before the Russia?
Life was perfect.
Before Russia came in.
Right. I mean, there was no reason we would ever leave Estonia. We had everything there was to be had.
What kind of work did your dad do?
He was an engineer.
Was he? Okay. And then did you have, like today we seem to know what's going to happen before it happens. When you were little, around 12 years old, did you understand what was happening at the time it was happening, or did it just all come on your family all at once?
No, it was actually my birthday, my 8th birthday.
Wow.
And we had a party, and the Russian officers came in to look our house over. That was the first thing. And then they kicked all the people out of the house, the rest of the people. We had 2 apartments, and they kicked them out and put the Russian soldier officers in there.
Really?
And then they arrested a lot of Estonians and sent them to Siberia, and killed a lot of them. Everything else.
Did you witness that, or is this what you heard?
What I heard, yeah, I didn't witness anything.
But you know it to be true?
Yeah, well, they were going to arrest my father, but the Germans started bombing and he ran away.
Really?
Yeah,
That close?
yeah.
Oh my.
So we couldn't stay there.
No. So the Germans started bombing, they ran away, then the Germans occupied it. Your family thought you might be safe, but then the Russians wanted it back.
Yeah.
And you knew what was going to happen if the
Right.
Russians came back. Wow. What a story. Does that period of time have a certain name, so if anybody wants to look it up, they can look it up? Or it's definitely in the history of your country?
Yes, well, the Russians, at first they entered Estonia taking the bases, they called bases, and then they just took over.
Wow. Well, is there anything, let's see,
If it wouldn't have been for the Germans letting us come out, we would be dead.
were you treated fair by the Germans?
Yes.
You were.
We went on a German ship to Germany, and my father was actually educated in Germany, he went to college in Germany. So he got a job, and people took us in, and we lived with the family there till the end of the war, and then we ended up in a displaced persons camp
Really?
for 5 years.
Tell me about that. Displaced person, was that literally tents, like a bunch of tents?
No. We lived in Geisingen, Germany, and the Americans kicked the people out of their houses. They had to leave the houses with just their clothes, and they let us live in those houses.
Why did the Americans kick them out?
They wanted to punish the Germans, so
Really?
yeah.
Oh,
So we lived in their houses. We didn't have a great life there. We had a great life, but it was like one room for a family.
Oh,
That was it.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was a very nice place.
Was there resentment for what the Americans did to the Germans, or at the time?
Oh, yes, of course. But they got well paid at the end. After 7 years, I think, they got
Re-
paid well.
Because the Americans went in to rebuild them, or help them rebuild?
Fix up the houses and or give them money or something. I don't know what they did exactly,
Okay. Oh,
but they were paid well.
okay. Wow. See, this is the kind of stuff that I worry about that doesn't get told. You know, if we don't have people like you telling it, I don't know that the history books go into that kind of detail. Do you remember any hardships that you and your family went through, or somehow, some way, there was always food on the table, and
Oh, we were never hungry,
that's good?
and I really didn't see anything really bad. One night, the bombing in Estonia, I remember, and once we were running through the woods, and
Wow.
I don't know which way it is. If you can hear a bomb, it's not going to hit you, I think. But if you don't hear it, it's going to hit you. I don't know which way it is.
Right. Wow. Wow.
But in Germany, we lived in Bitterfeld, and the Americans had a factory there, or interest there, a chemical factory, and they did not bomb our town. So that was never saw any bombing in Germany.
Oh, okay, so you fled to Germany at the same time the Americans were bombing Germany? Bombing Germany?
Oh yeah.
What was,
Every night at 11 o'clock, they were over, the planes were over Hanover, Braunschweiger, and then we had to go to the bunker.
wow. What was the thought of now, when I think about the American people, I think we're the compassionate people. We're the people that, we're the place where you want to go if you're going to flee. What was the thought of the people at that time, the American people? I mean, we're the ones dropping bombs. Were we looked at as the enemy, the bad enemy, or?
Well, actually, we wanted them to bomb so that it would win.
Okay,
We wanted the Americans to win.
okay,
And the Estonians did. Our family did.
right,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. See, I can't imagine. I just can't. I can't imagine fleeing through the woods with literally the clothes on your back.
No, this was just one day. We had to get out. We were at my grandmother's farm, and it was right across from the church, and they were bombing the church, and we had to get out of there. The farm burned.
Wow. Could you feel the bombs under your feet when they hit? Were you that close to them where you could, where the ground shook?
Not that close, but it had something to do with if you can hear them.
Right, I understand. Then you were safe, if you could hear them. Yeah. Wow. Do you remember seeing the planes go over you? I mean, they might not drop the bombs, but did you remember seeing planes?
No.
That's good. Wow. How did news travel during those times? Was it mostly word of mouth, or was there a newspaper that? How did you know? Did you have any warning from day to day what was coming up or what was to come, or did you rely on newspapers and word of mouth? I can't imagine.
Well, we had radio.
You had radio. That's
Yeah.
right.
And we actually, a lot of things went on in Germany that we didn't know about. I mean, we were living in this town, and I didn't speak German, my parents did. And, we got the information from the German papers.
Okay. We've covered a lot of questions. Politically, were you and your husband and or, well, your father and mother were in another country, but did your family follow politics and were y'all active in politics or did you?
Oh, definitely.
Really? So tell me, which one?
Republicans, my parents were, and I am, and my husband was, and
Right. And so y'all follow?
anybody that comes to this country should be a Republican, because that's what you come here for.
Right.
You don't want the handouts, you can stay over there.
Well, personally, I couldn't agree with you more. Now, there's some, honestly, I've done several interviews, and I can tell you, in this building, it's probably 50-50. So you have to be careful what you say, or you might hurt somebody's feelings, but personally, I agree with you. And there's no better example of how great capitalism can be than to follow immigrants like your family, who came here with nothing
Mm-hmm.
and worked hard
Right.
and to achieve what's some people refer to as the American dream. And it's still alive. I mean, if people want to work, they can succeed in this country.
Right.
Far faster and far better than they can in any other country. That's my opinion. But
I mean, that's the only way. I mean, why would you come here if you don't want to be a Republican?
right. Well, I think there's generations that in this country that don't understand the value of freedom and the value.
Freedom and safety is the most important thing.
Right, and people like you and your family, this video, I hope, reminds people that it's not automatic. Freedom and safety is not automatic. There's a cost.
Never.
and
It
there's
can
a
be
price.
taken away very soon.
Exactly, that's right. So, but I don't want to turn to anybody who thinks different off of this video. So, but I can understand personally, why you feel the way you do and why your family, felt the way they did. Have you got anything that you can think of that you want to add to this video that that you would like your family to know, or your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, in case they want to know a little bit more about their grandmother or their great grandmother?
Well, this is a great country,
It is a great country.
the greatest country, and let's keep it that way.
Please, let's do it. I'm curious to know because years from now, President Trump will be history, and a new president will be in, or maybe more. So we're not even a year into President Trump's first year as being president. What's your opinion of President Trump?
Well, I agree with what he was stood for. I don't exactly agree with everything he tweets.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, it's all about personal values, and they're my personal values. They're not anybody else. They don't have to be anybody else's personal values. But the campaign that the Republican Party runs on, and he wasn't my first choice. But when I had to look at him versus the other candidates, core values, what meant most to them versus what seemed to mean most to President Trump, there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to vote for President Trump. And I think if the media and the Democratic Party, the Democratic machine, would leave him alone, and he's going to either let him do everything he says he thinks he can do,
Right,
and if he fails, we'll vote somebody else in.
right,
But
right.
if he succeeds, the country is better for it.
But he's our president, we should work with him. There were a lot of presidents that I didn't like,
Agree?
but they were my presidents too.
That's right.
I didn't argue about it.
Right.
Once you get there, you get there.
That's right. That's the way I live. So, well, great. Yeah. So, Anything else you wanna add?
Well, just keep up the good work.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming in here and joining me for this interview.